Okay, I'm going to the Wang Putang Tea Farm, which you can see there right at the top center underneath the north sign. And I'm over here at the left. You can see what it says little home guest house where I'm staying, and 7-Eleven. I've walked to the left and up that little street, went a little bit farther, and an old Chinese lady spoke a little bit of English and said, no, you need to take this road here. And this road here is the one that starts in the circle I've drawn, where I think it says 0.5 kilometers, and it goes to the right and it says 2.5 kilometers. So there's the 7-Eleven. The sign that I'm guessing is completely self-explanatory, and one behind it that was replaced because it probably wasn't. And this, I think, is the road that I'm supposed to be taking, since there's no other road other than the mag drang with a 7-Eleven in it. So putting aside for a moment my uncanny ability to get lost in the simplest of situations, I'm going to walk down to the tea farm, take a look at that, and then get to the road, which is just a short ways from there, and hook a ride back up here on a Sorto owl, which I should be able to flag down for a few pennies, basically. Here are some gentlemen installing a new shrine, which I'm guessing is probably a family burial shrine or ceremony. And being a coward, I thought I'd pick up this little chunk of bamboo, which probably has some deadly snake or spider in it somewhere, to greet the dogs in case any are particularly unfriendly. While there are very modern material roofs and houses up here, here's a thatched one made of bamboo. And notice the terracing. This is all tea country here. And I'm about to visit the Shangja Sai village, which I guess is that right there. Hopefully I'm on the right trail, because I don't want to backtrack this. It looks like the map is indicating that I'm supposed to encounter a Aka hill tribe village, and that there should be a different road after it, and they said it would be dirt for a good part of the way, which is great. I did take a look inside this, and I do not have a snake or a spider. What I have is a jumping, spitting cricket. So poisonous, highly poisonous cricket. And so I am going to dislodge it. I did dislodge it, and you can see it's racing after me. Well, it kind of did it initially, but now it's not. This is a Jedi, or Chedai. He's pronouncing it Jedi. That I will visit tomorrow, if not later this afternoon. Here's a lady who has given me permission to video, and she is probably making the panels that will go on the roofs with these reeds. It's a rather simple process, but of course if it's not done right, and you can see how neatly she's done this, of course, this is a lady who's a pro. It will keep she and her family dry and cool. And there's a church up there. This reminds me of the terracing that the Incas did, but these are extremely different. The primary difference visually is that the Incas built every single terrace out of a wall. Extremely labor intensive, because all that rock had to be brought from somewhere. And then they built it, number one. And then they had an elaborate natural method for funneling water naturally off the top of the mountain down into their gardens, whereas probably much of this water today is pumped up here. In fact, on the way up I saw a huge pile of blue, probably 4-inch pipe that probably is a new water system for another area of development. And of course, I don't think that the Incas grew tea. And here we can see very much modern homes down through here. In spite of all the trash that there is around here, particularly down slope, nevertheless they make an attempt. Here probably a school. And here you can see the village continues on. Looks like more older traditional structures down there, but we'll have to see. These, I'm guessing, are cisterns, probably filled by these water lines. Here we can get a little closer look at some of this tea work, although it's not particularly terraced, but I think it is underneath the tea plants themselves. I'm taking the high road here because it's supposed to be my nature. Plus, over there is the dirt road, which I think is the continuation of this road to the tea farm. Notice the loudspeaker here so that announcements can be made quickly to the entire village. Here, an older abode made out of, I'm guessing that's bamboo that's been sliced into strips. To me, this is the greatest way to spend a day of your life, is wandering in the back like this. There we can see the underpinning of bamboo. Notice how part of that even juts out for some purpose. And there are bamboo mats they probably make, like that woman probably is more than capable of making. And what I've observed is that almost all the Thai people I see are dressed nicely, just like Americans would be dressed. But here you have no clue what surroundings they might have come from. And here we shift to dirt, making it even less accessible by tourist buses and minivans. So this part of the village looks much more rustic. I think what's important to notice here, okay, this part of the village does look much more rustic in total. Now, something to notice about working here as one of these folks at less than $7 a day when they work is the steepness of these hills. So the energy expended just getting to and from work. And then secondly, tea is harvested by hand, leaf by leaf. Extremely labor intensive. But of course these villages are electrified. Probably everybody has a cell phone. And at least one person watches satellite TV on a regular basis. Maybe you can hear the water pouring into the cistern. Shooting down through the village to a terracing that has not yet been filled. Here's some of the bamboo strips drying, waiting for a use. I'm either going the right way or I'm in for one hell of a return walk. So a gentleman directed me this way instead of down the well-worn larger road that goes deeper into the village. So if this is not it, a grand walk. But notice that this was cut out to be a road. So you can probably bring four-wheel drive rigs up through here if you needed to. So I'm going to either end up at that road that's way at the bottom, or I'm going to end up going up that road that's going up there, or both. Off to the right there is Mae Salong. I'm just going to pan down through here. Notice this huge tree. I hope you can get a sense of how steep this hill is. That well-worn path is probably from the little motorbikes that people bring up. This flower is about a 1/2 inch to 3/4 of an inch in size. Here its little brush-like bulb before it opens up. think Carl and Evelyn might get a thrill going up this on four-wheelers. Down below I can hear water rushing, and there I see a stream, so there is natural water up in these mountains. Whether it's the source of all the farming or not, I don't know. This very narrow trail probably represents access to a field of tea. Here we can see some of the terracing, just simple terracing. And I don't know what these trees are, but you can be sure that they're some kind of product. And these I think are banana trees, pretty sure they are. But look at there's the small little bananas they get from these. Man herding his cattle. As I saw in Peru, where they had one person with each group of cows, and that was the only job they had, was to stay with those cows or sheep or whatever it was all day long. Pretty impressive horns. Here a rough bridge, but if you've got a big four-wheel drive rig, you can take it there, of course. Now this is interesting. These are watered by sprinklers. That's the hill I just came down. And I'm hoping I don't have to climb that high again. And this looks like some other crop, maybe wheat or grain of some sort. And you can see that it also is terraced, but more like the rice in large paddies. These are very pretty flowers that grow on a vine. Little idea how steep getting to work can be. This man just brought these cows or whatever they are down to drink water, but it took a lot of doing. They wanted to go every place but, ironically, where the water was. You'd think that's where they'd love to go. Just wanted you to hear this chorus of insects. Here's a little stream trickling out of the jungle. Stop for a little bit of a rest on this walk up the hill. Well, I'm approaching a village, and a man in a four-wheel drive new truck passed me a few minutes ago. So hopefully I'm on the right trail. I can hear a motorbike out there somewhere. And it looks like I'm climbing up as high as I came down, which is okay. Again, these beautiful, what I'll call poinsettias, I have no clue what they are. The flower's about 3/4 of an inch. And if those are individual flowers, I can't tell. They're probably about 1/8 of an inch or slightly less. A little green energy. He's black inside. Can't see it here. Okay, so I've come to the end of the road. I show it on the map. The old man misunderstood what I was asking, even though I showed him. And instead, where the circle is, it says morning market. The line that goes up is where he directed me to, and where I should have continued to go was straight ahead. But anyway, it was a beautiful hike, so now I just have to hike it all back. But at least I got to see one true hill tribe village. You can see from stands of bamboo like this how easy it is to build a house structure, or even those what look like spindly scaffolding they use on huge buildings sometimes in Asia. A little idea of what the runoff does along here. Notice up on the hill where that dead-eye is that there's a long line of trees that's been planted. I wonder what the purpose of that was. Unless they have huge winds here or something that breaks it up. And I notice over here there's at least a line of trees on the ridge. Whether it was intentional or not, I don't know, and why, I don't know. Well, down there I go once again. The gentleman and his animals are up there, and here with this gate and the fencing, the rough fencing, and then that corral down there and the water. This is probably where he keeps his animals. Looks like he's lost one of his legs. Might make for a dicey takeoff, not to mention the landing. Just past these fellas, and they're probably doing either once a week or 6 times a week what I'm doing once in my lifetime, and that's walking from their village to Mae Salong. And there's part of the hill. Here's an idea of how much water comes pumping off the top of this mountain, at least just in one spot. There's some people. I wonder if they're climbing up that road, and if they are, I wonder if I can beat them. Maybe they're pulling off right there. Yeah, looks like they are. You can hear something. I think it's probably a toad inside that dam, that new portion of the dam they built. I imagine these people are expert, and have been for all the centuries they've occupied this land, at creating check dams and storing water from the wet season to the dry season. There's the herder over there on the hillside to the right. Well, I thought I'd see and cross this bridge once in my life. I'm doing it twice. Don't know whether these are a smaller version of the other or a different kind. No, they're probably a small version of a cow, if the other things weren't cow. If you go through the upper village and stay to the high road, you'll come to this intersection. If you go left, you go to an entirely different place than the tea farm. You go to small tribe, hill tribe, which I'll show on the map. If you go to the right and down the hill there to the left, or to the right here and immediate left, right there where you see it, then you continue, I believe, on that road, and you actually go to the tea farm. Trash pickup. So here we have the tea leaves just laid out here to dry. And then I don't know if that's artificial dryer there or not. Then they package them, just compressed packs. I just met Michael and Tammy Vitelli, and he writes horror fiction and used to make shoes, Western shoes for Justin and then Nocona.